Hello everybody. So I was in the kitchen today cooking and I did a little teaser video of putting some beautiful butternut squash and broccoli into my oven. I'm making a little sauce. I got a little pasta going. So here's what I decided to make today, and I think it's going to be really good. If you have mushrooms, you can use mushrooms. If you have heavy cream or whipping cream or half and half, all of these things can be substituted. Whatever kind of squash you got. So I had about a pound of butternut squash that was already cubed up and washed. And I had a crown and a half of broccoli. And this rigatoni. I don't know what they're called. I got them for 99 cents at Wegmans. There's a name for them though. Rigatoni, but they're the fat ones. The fat rigatonis. So what I did was I cooked up half a bag of my rigatonis and just brought my water to a boil. Made sure my water was salted. I don't usually, but I felt like because it was a big fat pasta, I should salt my water, so I did. And then in the oven I had my broccoli and my butternut squash roasting with a tablespoon and a half of olive oil and a tablespoon and a half of maple syrup, a dash of cinnamon, and a good dusting of cayenne pepper, and a little salt, a little pepper, and a dash of balsamic vinegar. I had that at 425 in my oven. Broccoli cut down and the stalks, and butternut squash. The maple syrup really brings it over the edge to another level that's really just savory and nice. Then I took regular breakfast sausage, Banquet patties that were on sale, pork, and I cooked them up in this pan with a couple tablespoons of water with the lid on for about 5 minutes. Let them cook and then take the lid off and let them brown. And I cut them up and I put them in there. And then with the fat from that, I added 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and 2.5 cups of chicken broth. And I whisked that all together to make a little gravy, a little lemon juice in it, and a little bit of milk. It can take a little bit more cream, and I'm just got it on a low burner. I'm going to let it thicken a little more. I used a little bit of my pasta water to thicken it, and that's going to go over this. That's it. So pasta with broccoli and squash that you roast in the oven with maple syrup, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, and olive oil, and salt and pepper. Seasonings I have in here. I actually don't have any garlic yet in anything because the sausage does have garlic in it, so I just don't think you need a lot of it. But if you wanted garlic, you could put your garlic, you can even do onion in your butter with your flour, then add your chicken broth, your pasta water to thicken it, make a little bit of a sauce. There is Parmesan cheese in there, I forgot to tell you, about a half a cup of Pecorino Romano cheese. And it's kind of like a savory sausage cheese sauce. So it's going to go right over the broccoli and it's actually a nice bright savory sauce. So that's what I'm making today, and I hope you'll try this recipe. Very simple. 20 minutes on one side in the oven, the middle rack, 425. I just lined my roasting pan with foil and sprayed it with olive oil spray, and then I took my regular extra virgin olive oil and mixed that into my broccoli and butternut squash, and then drizzled maple syrup all over it and cayenne pepper and cinnamon, and it really came out quite lovely. So it's a nice hearty meal. I'm not going to put the sauce on all of this. I would put the sauce in a jar and save it, and then use it when you want. And I might end up cracking some eggs over some of this and putting it in the oven at 400 for half an hour, making like an egg bake. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it. You can also add a cheese sauce if you wanted to do cheddar cheese or like a white cheddar or whatever. So there's so many things you can do with it. It's just a nice autumn hearty meal. I love butternut squash. I love all squash. Acorn squash, spaghetti squash. Yep. In a minute, I'm going to sound like Forrest Gump when it comes to shrimp. If I start talking about how much I love squash. So I won't. But yeah, it's got everything you need in it. And it's a make it stretch hearty meal. Not too expensive. If I was to break down how much it was, the bag of sausage patties were $3.98 for 48 of them. And I used 6 of them, so maybe less than $1. The butternut squash was $1.99. Oh, I'm sorry, $2.99. So 3, 4, 5, about 5. The broccoli, 6. I'm gonna say under $10. Under $10. Just the drippings from the sausage. Chicken broth is $1. I used reduced sodium Wegmans chicken broth and 1 packet of Herbox no sodium. So I would say about $8. And this will last a week, if not longer, depending on what I do with it. Okay, that's my video and my share for the day. Hope you'll try this. Enjoy.